See all the clouds? I was talking with my dad yesterday, and he was saying about he has a theory kind of about, I think someone that has a similar theory as Kent Hovind. But my dad was saying how he thought that because there was no rain before the flood, and that it was only after the flood that it rained. This was just interesting to me that, like, Kent Hovind, I think he says something about like the dome or whatever, the firmament was like ice or something, and it was in the form of water or whatever, waters above. And so my dad was thinking that maybe the waters above they're not there anymore, because after the flood, before the flood, the waters came into the earth or whatever. And it was making me think, though, was there clouds before the flood? Do you know what I'm saying? Did clouds exist before the flood? And if possibly not, then are the clouds actually basically the water, the flood waters that were dried up, like as they assuaged or whatever? They evaporated until the dry ground showed again. Is that maybe what the clouds are? And that's why we have our, weather systems that we have, and rain and all that we have. It was interesting. And actually it was also, I have to say, it was encouraging to hear my dad talk about the dome, because he doesn't really seem to like the whole flat earth thing much. But it was interesting that my dad was talking about, he called it the dome theory. He said, I believe the dome theory. So I don't know who teaches the dome theory or whatever, but that was something that I've heard before from Kent Hovind, like that there was a firmament that was like, that it also gave a possible explanation to the reason why maybe like Adam and those guys lived to be really old, like 900 years old or whatever, and then after the flood they got to be our life terms or whatever were shortened. Like maybe if there was this ice dome, that maybe the radiation from the sun or whatever actually didn't affect as much back before the flood. Who knows? Now, I don't believe that the waters above ever went anywhere. I think that there's still the waters above, and I think that it's the darkness is really what it is. It's dark waters, and like NASA or whoever, they understand it to be a vacuum, like a place of nothing. Like that's what they think the whole universe is. And I'm like, no, that's just like part of the heavens. That's like the very bottom of heaven is the darkness. But I guess what I would say is, when they go to space, they're not ascending into heaven. They're ascending up into the sky just a little bit, and then they're going sideways and falling. So when Enoch says that they'll sink into the pit, well, my understanding is you can go up in the sky. You can go up in the sky, and if you start going sideways really fast, you could start falling from that point. You can sink, you can fall or sink or whatever you want to call it from that point on, if you're going sideways. And it's interesting that it's referred to as the sides of the pit, okay? And that's because they're not ascending into heaven, they're sinking into an abyss. And then they even believe it themselves. They're in a state of free fall, 0G or whatever. They're falling continuously and perpetually into a dark abyss. That's what low Earth orbit is. So science is so screwed up, you guys, so messed up. But I'm saying is science doesn't understand reality at all. So that was about all I wanted to say. I thought it was interesting what my dad was saying, that he thought that maybe there was like a layer of ice or whatever, that the dome was something like that, and then God used it to flood the earth at some point, which is interesting to me. I'm just glad that, you know what, I take it as a sign that God is working in the hearts and minds of people everywhere because of this truth. Because of this truth. Hitting a little traffic. There must be an accident or something. Oh no, they just got a state trooper pulling somebody over. Okay, since that happened, I'll give my opinion. How many accidents a year are caused by state troopers pulling people over on the freeway? And I have a suggestion. Just a common sense suggestion. Every freeway has exits. And it could be a rule for the safety of officers and the safety of the public that if you're on the freeway, you don't stop. How about that? Isn't it even illegal to stop on the freeway? I mean, obviously, if you have a bad tire, if you have a tire pop or something. What I'm saying is, why are they stopping on the freeway? Pull off on the first exit. So let's say you're speeding and the trooper wants to pull you over. I have a suggestion. You pull over where it's legal to pull over in everyday situations, which would be on the exit. You just pull over on the exit. So the trooper says, oh, you're speeding, so he gets behind you, turns his cherries on, and you can acknowledge him, give him a wave or whatever, and both of you would be able to just say, okay, well, the next exit is where I must stop to, because I'm being pulled over. You don't pull over on the side of the road and cause a bunch of accidents. So there you go. State troopers are stupid. I'm not saying the troopers themselves, I'm saying the laws are stupid. Nobody thinks when they're legislating. They don't think. They don't represent anything that I would stand for. If you know how they're always talking about officer safety, officer safety, officer safety. Well, then why is your dumb, you know what? Why are you pulling over on the side of the freeway where people are going 70, 80 miles an hour? And then every time that a trooper does pull someone over on the side of the road, everyone that drives by them for that, whatever, 10, 15 minutes or however long they're pulled over on the side of the road, everyone almost locks their brakes up going by and just about hits somebody. And you guys just watched it. All of a sudden it's standstill traffic on the freeway. And it's not even rush hour. So look at those clouds, they're beautiful. All right, guys, that was it. Have a great day. I got a long drive and a long day of work ahead of me. So we'll see how it goes. Have a good one.